Today's show brought to you by HP. I want to talk about General Motors. And I don't want to dump on GM any more than they already have been dumped on, or any more than they deserve to be dumped on. And God knows they deserve to be dumped on for the fact that they've put tens of thousands of people out of a job. They have, including dealers, including employees, including channel partners, they've contributed towards the economy being in the toilet like it is right now. I don't want to do that. I want to talk about one specific incident, and I want to make it about marketing. And the incident that I want to talk about is literally on a Monday at about 8:30 a.m., General Motors applies or files for bankruptcy protection. Within 24 hours of that happening, they announce this glossy new campaign, a new 30-second spot or a 60-second spot on YouTube that talks about reinvention. Have you ever heard about the story about the boy who cried wolf? This is a company that has cried wolf one time too many. So they start using lines like, you know, let's face it, nobody wants to go through this kind of stuff, and this isn't the end, it's the beginning of the American car, and this isn't chapter 11, it's chapter 1. This isn't about going out of business, it's about getting down to business. And it just falls on deaf ears. You know, the problem is that if any other company did something like that, they might have a little bit more credibility. But when GM does it, it just sounds like something we've heard too many times before. Now, I wrote about this, I blogged about it, and I wasn't complimentary about it. And I said, well, guys, how long have you had this commercial ready? How long have you had it in the hopper? And how much did you pay for the production of this commercial? And I hope, by the way, you paid your agencies up front as opposed to putting them on your creditor list. And what about the big fancy voiceover? I'm sure you've used George Clooney in the past. This guy sounds kind of familiar. And what about all the media time? Why not take all of that money and invest it, quite frankly, in terms of saving a few more jobs or putting it towards your recovery? Now, Eric Hirschberg, who's a great guy, he's a mensch, you know, he is the he's the co-president, he's the chief creative officer of Deutsch, was the agency that was actually responsible for this commercial. And he responded on my blog, and he gave an incredibly thoughtful, I thought, response. And I said to Eric, why didn't you just use the very same language that you just human to human told me about in my blog post in the actual spot? For example, he said to me that it was all stock photography, all B-roll stuff. It didn't really cost them anything. Why not say that in the commercial? Why not put in clear letters, none of the spot cost any money? Show that you've changed. Don't tell us that you've changed. Show us. This is part of my ongoing rant. And if you don't, all of you, pick this up now, then you will never pick it up. Don't tell people, show them. Prove to them, demonstrate. Don't make promises that you can't keep. Don't make empty promises. At the end of the day, deliver on your promises. That's how to build trust and rapport and credibility, and that's how to be authentic. So, if you're wondering what the spot looks like and what it sounds like, etc., I'm going to provide a link that you can actually see the original spot. But I'm also going to show you what happens when there is that disconnect. So I want you to kind of peer over my shoulder, and I'm going to show you that there is now a spoof spot. And instead of gmreinvention.com, there is now gmretardation.com. So have a look at the spoof that now exists. So here's the site, your window into the retardation of GM. See how we totally screwed over the American taxpayer. Let me show you the spoof.
Let's be completely honest. Our lawyer says we have to. No company really wants to be responsible, and we're no different. But GM didn't kill the American car like we killed public transportation. Because let's face it, we stopped being a truly American car decades ago. Gracias, mi amigos. We at GM have been screwing your tailpipe for 100 years. And now with your help and the inefficiency of the American government, we're gonna screw you again. So here's what the new GM's going to be. New, efficient ways to ignore the customer, a leaner, meaner workforce, or at least angrier, and new opportunities for government circumvention. Greener, faster, smarter. In effect, more Japanese. And we're more committed than ever to profits and to the oil companies. Because at GM, we're not surprised we're obsolete. we plan for it.
Okay, look, I hope they recover. I mean, give them a chance. This is their last chance. So, you know what? There's no harm in giving it one final shot.